likes talking on social media, and as we can see today, it seems a lot of people are too scared. We're always scared to voice the truth. But what I want to believe, today is Friday, people are going to work. I want to believe that maybe they're in school. I want to believe that, let's give them all the excuses. But let's not give ourselves excuses. Another thing we have to recognize is many activists at the end of the day go to take digits. It's why I decided to hold this at this shrine. I put my career, I put my life on the line. I can't compromise. My heritage does not allow me to discuss with corruption. So you never see me participate in this kind of things, except I'm totally sure of what I'm doing, or use my premises for such events. So I'm using it this time because it is one too many killings. You take an innocent life, it's enough. It's totally uncalled for. It's unacceptable. It could have been my child, could have been my son, could have been anybody. And because so many people don't have a voice, that's why people like us need to speak out on behalf of others who cannot speak out or who are afraid, even if they are too afraid. Because, like I said, it could be my son driving his car one day and he stopped, and the policeman doesn't like the look of his face or is envious of him, and he starts to harass him. And my son, I know him, he will stand his ground and they will say he's rude, and the policeman will just shoot him. So, it calls for people like us to now say enough is enough. So, like I said, excuse me, I'm still a bit delirious. You can imagine after jumping on stage for 3 hours last night, 2 hours sleep, and having to wake up here to be with you. Please, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together. Thank you very much for having us. Thank you very much for hosting us. Thank you very much for your heritage. Thank you very much for the legacy that Papa has left for us. He's been a great influence to my life. You have been a great influence. Your family has been a great influence, and we appreciate what you're doing today. We are not, our organization, Social Intervention Advocacy Foundation, is not a protest organization. We are advocates. We go all out to ensure government, fulfill their promises to the people. We're doing this to show appreciation to those people who want to contribute by coming out to express themselves, to speak out against this impunity that is gradually trying to, abort us from the womb of democracy. And that's one of the reasons why we use this medium to actually address the press, to actually tell you, the citizenry of this country, how far we have come, where we are coming from, where we are, and where we hope to be, and the things that we must and should be demanding for at this point in time. So I wrote a speech which I'm going to share with the press, about how far we've come and about what precisely is going on and how we hope to engage going forward. This is not the main protest. The main protest will be a period where we know what we expect from government, and we want to ensure that we will not go back home until that is done. And that will start from next week. We will keep you informed. But let me read what I have here to all, so that we can actually understand where we are coming from, where we are, and where we hope to go. Okay, short read. Fellow compatriots, we welcome you all who are today gathered across the cities of our country to express their disappointment in the police force, especially in the brutal killings of Nigerians by officers of the police force. The brutality of the police force goes far to our past. But the current tragic spike in the killings of innocent Nigerians stems from the ill-thought-out repeal of the operational procedures by the IGP on assumption of office 3 months ago. As we can all recall, the operational procedures negotiated with the police hierarchy by civil rights campaigners were put in place to stem the impunity of the killer squads, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, the Special Anti-Cultism Squad, and the Special Anti-Kidnapping Squad. At least as a stopgap measure pending the passage of the Police Reform Bill 2018. To date, the rationale for the repeal of the operational procedures remains a puzzle. However, the EndSARS movement, as well as other well-meaning Nigerians, has consistently warned about the imminent consequences of allowing the elite killer squad of the police force to operate without discernible command and control structure. A proper channel of reporting and clear hierarchy for discipline. Tragically, warnings have gone unheeded. The consequences are today the spate of killings that we are currently experiencing across our country. The latest being the killing of Kolade Johnson. The culture of impunity spawned by such inhuman chants of police officers like, "I will kill you and nothing will happen," or "I will kill you, I will kill someone today." What we get are not only killer squads that reign supreme, but a police force that have gone rogue, killing and maiming defenseless citizens. Our lives, the lives of all citizens matter, and we must continue to demand that men and women of police force respect the sanctity of life and the lives of all Nigerians. In the light of the foregoing, therefore, we restate that all adult squads within the police force be scrapped and their responsibilities transferred to the discernible structures within the police force. For clarity, the Federal Criminal Intelligence and Investigation Department, FCIID, with its concomitant substructure at the level of the State Police Command, SCIID, can adequately take care of the responsibilities of Special Anti-Robbery Squad, Special Anti-Kidnapping Squad, and Special Anti-Cultism Squad. And as it was in the past, the particular demand, among other demands, is driven by the insistence that our country and the security forces place a premium on the lives of citizens, particularly the youth, who have become target practices of the menacing operatives of the killer squads of the police force. Justice will be served and must be seen to be served by the killings of Emeka Ojinze, who was just 23 years old, Linda Igwetu, 23 years old, Richard Peter Gora, 22 years old, Sofiat Yakin, 23 years old, Mrs. Kudirat, Anita Akapsi, Kolade Johnson, who was 36 years old, Ademola Moshood, the Okada rider who was killed over 200 naira only. The little girl in Ikorodu who was tragically felled by a stray bullet, and other unreported killings by trigger-happy policemen. And we demand that all officers responsible for these killings be brought to book. The struggle is dedicated to them all. They did not die in vain. Therefore, we demand as follows. Number one, that all killer squads of the police force be scrapped and their responsibilities transferred to proper structures within the police. 2, that new and updated operational guidelines on the use of arms which respect the right to life as preserved by the 1999 Constitution be issued. That the police force and the federal government must pay monetary compensation to all families of citizens felled by its rogue operatives. The Attorney General of Police, the Attorney General of the Federation must ensure that the criminal prosecution of police officers named in the killings of Nigerians be effected. 5, that the 8th National Assembly, that the Senate, must, as a matter of utmost urgency, pass the Police Reform Bill 2018 and transmit same to the President. Number 6, that the President, Muhammadu Buhari, must assent to and sign the Police Reform Bill 2018 into law without delay and without the antics of rejection. In conclusion, we say, with all humility, that long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria, long live Nigerian youth, our pride and the future of our nation. Thank you very much.
One more thing before we go. Whilst we are here, we mustn't forget the killings in Zamfara or Plateau. Okay, the kidnappings we have been reading about in Kaduna, all over Nigeria. The insecurity of this country is grave. The police force, in my view again, with all these kidnappings and all this going on in other states, the police, instead of harassing like one of, I think it was an IDP, saying that you are not allowed to wear tattoo or dreadlocks, I mean, shows the gravity of how bad the IQ of the police force is. That our children who are just feeling happy. So, when you remember when they used them to wear torn clothes, it's not part of my generation. So we should now start locking all the children that were doing hip-hop clothes and they are tearing their clothes as well. Is it the police duty to tell us how our children should dress? I think the police, in my view, if there's all this kidnapping we are reading about, for instance, when the governor of, I was reading, the governor of Rufai was passing, a kidnapping just happened, he had to stop his convoy to chase the kidnappers. Why should the governor be stopping to chase the kidnappers? Is that even his own job? If the police were well equipped, well educated, that's the police job. The police they should have had enough resources to understand that a kidnapping took place at this place, or that place is insecure, and they should have had men and women at that place to protect citizens of that area. As we see in Zamfara or so many lawless events that have taken place in this country over the years. And what is so heartbreaking is to now be reading that a young boy was just sitting down watching a game of football at the straight bullet because this policeman was trigger happy, just shot aimlessly, didn't even know where he was shooting to. Probably they have not even had training on how to shoot a gun. We need a complete overhaul of everything in this country. That's my view. Again, thank you for coming out tonight. I'm still in the night. I'm so tired, but I need to go home and sleep. But just to show I am committed to what we are doing here. And Shegun, thank you for picking up my call when I called you, because I called him and said, look, we are talking enough on Twitter. I've been following you on Twitter. I see you are very committed to this issue. Please, let's try and do it together. And we were thinking, what should we do? we can use the shrine. I'm ready to put the shrine in the fiery in front of this situation, defending the rights and integrity of young people in this country. Thank you.